So just look at, why are you using this media? Is it to move information? Are you doing that between you and the client? Is that the reason you're using this thumb drive or whatever it may be? Is it for you so you can move stuff between work and home? What I really recommend instead, consider using a secure document portal instead. This is what we've instituted for our clients, and you know what? It's a whole lot easier as well, more convenient. So we don't allow our clients to bring us little thumb drives of their QuickBooks backup or their data anymore. We say, you know what? We have this really awesome portal. We want to give you a link to that, and they go, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So we have them upload, and doesn't even matter the file size. They upload it there, and we also have an easier place, because I don't know if you've ever had this happen. You have this little tiny thumb drive, and you're like, where did that go? I mean, how frustrating is that? But using something like a secure document portal is an easy fix. And a lot of these is instituting rules. If you tell your staff, hey, this is what we tell our clients, we're not going to use removable media, and here's why, we're protecting them, and so on, and that's one of the things you can do. What about, are you doing your own data backups on removable media? And what are you doing to secure that? And an easy fix there. Consider a cloud-based backup, something that, and you want a secure one. You want something that, in our case, we do full encrypted backups, and there's actually, this ties into course 1, but we do encrypted backups because if somebody happens to hack our systems and we have, let's say, a ransomware attack, the ransomware could go in and pretty much encrypt all of our systems, make it utterly unusable. But because our backup is encrypted, those can't touch our backup. So we can go, yeah, so what? Good luck, guys. And we go back and we restore all of our company data. We lose one day, restore it all back up again. But we're not keeping that here in our office. We use secure cloud-based backups for that. So consider these. And this is a great place where you might have a good conversation with your IT guy and say, hey, what are we doing for this? If you have to use a physical, drive that's there, because removable media can even be like an external drive, because they have a risk of being stolen, make sure they're encrypted. Encryption techniques are not new. There's some really great things out there now. The whole reason you would do that is because we have to think of the what if, and this is one of the ways you can do that as an encrypted drive. I mean, that's a great way if you have to go about backups in that manner. If we look at other things you can do if you have to use removable media for some reason, what are you doing physically to secure it? Is it in a secure location? Is it in a locked cabinet? Is it in a secure or locked container? So simple little things like locks are a great deterrent in a lot of cases. Or, if it's appropriate, use some sort of an automated mechanism that ensures only authorized access. All these relatively simple things you can institute if it is that this is something that you feel you must need in your business. And what we do in accounting, there's so many other options that we just kind of said, we don't want to use removable media anymore. It's more of a pain than anything. And we went to a secure file system, and it's so much easier, honestly. But we have to think of all these different possibilities. So what about your fax machine, your copier, your printer, these devices that receive and print information for us? Even those really great multifunction printers, guess what? They actually can contain sensitive information. Is it located in a common area? We have a couple printers, interspersed throughout our office, and one of them can be seen by potentially clients. Do you ever receive unexpected faxes? That does happen on occasion. What about using an electronic fax instead? That's one way that you can kind of get out ahead of that one, is because it will, it's secure. It's going to use, by the way, less supplies, less toner, less ink, less paper, but it won't just be something that's just hanging out there for somebody to see. You might also consider there is something called PIN access printing. What it will be is your printer, your fax, if it receives that data to it, it'll actually save the information until the user enters a security code or PIN, and then it'll go ahead and print those waiting jobs. The expectation is that then, since you're printing it right then, you're going to go and collect that immediately after printing. So that's one way that you can also, if you're giving you all these different creative ways to do something different, this is another thing that's available, PIN access printing. So if you have, print jobs that normally we just sit on the printer and they're not collected immediately, possibly even be that they're forgotten, that's a way that you can try something different, is PIN access printing. We also have to consider, okay, if we have all these physical security, and we're talking about, our facility and our paperwork and the electronic data and these little, media devices, what about when we're traveling? We have to not forget that we have to do probably something different because it's a lot more complex when we're traveling. But what about your hard copy, the paperwork, electronic information? Laptops, all these things that you may have that still could be client information or access client information, don't leave it unsecured. That's simple and, common sense. But what if you have to bring it along? If you're in the hotels, most of them will have some pretty decent safes, and my laptop is a beast. I mean, admittedly it is. I haven't upgraded yet. It's fairly large size, but the cool thing is most of these hotel safes, I've not had an occasion where my laptop wouldn't fit in there, that I can put paper files in there. And usually I try not to travel with, giant boxes of stuff, but if there's like a couple files of something I'm working on, I do put it in the safe when I'm away from my room because I don't want to have any worry. I'm fanatical. I don't want the housekeeping staff even to peek and see what my client's name is. I don't want them to know that I even have it. What about your vehicle? Is the paperwork out of sight? Is it hidden under the seat or maybe in the trunk? You don't want somebody passing by to see. I mean, heaven forbid they see some really sensitive data just because they passed by and looked in your car window. So when you're traveling, just pay mind if you have to bring that information. If you are leaving it unattended, this is not recommended, but safeguarded. Try to make sure that it's not just plain open in sight. When you're on an airplane, maybe you're wanting to take a brief nap and get to where you're going. Keep your paperwork, keep your information in a briefcase. My laptop, I keep in it. I actually have the coolest backpack that holds my laptop, but I keep it in there. In fact, somebody probably wouldn't even know that I keep my laptop in there. Maybe your files in a file holder, but put them in the seat, under the seat in front of you. You don't want to put it in the overhead bin. If you're taking a nap, it's going to be a lot tougher for somebody to disturb what's right in front of you, right in front of your feet. And that's going to look really weird to the other passengers, where if they're reaching above to get something out of the overhead bin, maybe the other passengers don't realize it's your information. So these are just some logical sort of safeguards you can put in place, and you can assess your own situation and say, hey, this is different for me, or I just want to pay attention to where this information is. And that's one of the takeaways, that I want you to start thinking, I guess, creatively along these lines. But if we talked about all this physical security, what about disposal? You know that your data drives and your hard copies, something that we will logically think about, but what about printers, copiers, and fax machines? Do you know that they actually have hard drives in most of them? Most of them often contain memory that has all those saved information, because most of them, like fax machines, they'll receive a few faxes and they can hold it in memory and then print it. It's keeping those images on a hard drive. You don't want to just throw away that retired equipment. Oh, that fax machine's had its day, I'm going to toss it out. Destroy the hard drive inside. If you don't know that they have that, now you know, but please do destroy the hard drives inside. Those copiers and printers and fax machines can be a wealth of information to somebody that knows that data is there. Retired computer systems, servers, you want to destroy them. There are actually companies out there that contract to destroy or shred them. They can actually shred hard drives, as crazy as that sounds. Or if you're on a budget, or here we are, and I laugh so much in Western Colorado, target practice can be effective and satisfying, especially if you're retiring a computer system that's driving you crazy. You're like, oh, you're so going to get it. That hard drive makes excellent target practice. The main thing is you want to destroy those hard drives. There are systems that say, oh yeah, you can just, erase that data. You know what? An image of that still exists on that hard drive. So just be aware of that and have some measures in place as to what you do once you want to retire that equipment. Hard copy, that's like the documents. Lock them. Have you thought of just, if you have a temporary file area, locking them in there? And a burn bin or a storage or shred bin, we have a really big, huge trash can sized shred bin that only has a little slot that you can push the paperwork into, and it's locked. And until they can be disposed of properly, shredding, of course, is recommended. And you want to determine who is the personnel that's actually authorized to conduct that activity. Who is it that's going to be able to be the one in charge of shredding it? If you hire an outside document disposal company, verify their security procedures. We actually have a local document shredding company. We had two different ones. One would take the information out right in the parking lot, and you can watch them, and then they would shred it on site in their truck. The other one had cameras. It was kind of a cool setup. The cameras that would show you when your documents arrive to the facility, them shredding it. So you also want to have some sort of they will often give certifications. This is how many boxes of documents we're shredding, or whatever the case is. But verify. Don't just say, oh, we'll trust you, without even asking a question. So pay attention to how you're destroying or getting rid of paperwork.